All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling a huge challenge, one that pretty much every company faces. How on earth do you get all these different teams, from marketing to product to tech, to actually work together like one cohesive unit?
So think about your own company for a second. You've got incredible talent in every single department, right? But does the overall result still feel a bit chaotic? Maybe even out of tune? It's like having an orchestra full of brilliant musicians, but they're all playing from a different sheet of music. You know, this is the kind of thing that keeps CXOs staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m.
So what's really going on here? Well, the root of the problem is something we can call the symphony of silos. It's this super common, super frustrating situation where you have these amazing teams, but instead of making beautiful music together, they're just making a lot of noise.
And look, these silos, they're not built on purpose. Nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to create a silo today. It's just what happens when people get really good at their specific jobs. Your marketing team lives and breathes customer insights. Operations is totally obsessed with efficiency. And your tech team, well, they're marching to the beat of their own drum. Each one has its own unique rhythm. Okay, and this is where it gets really tricky. Your marketing team, they're all about pushing the envelope, trying new things, innovation. But then you have operations, and their whole world is about making things run smoothly, efficiently, predictably. Those two goals aren't just different. A lot of the time, they can feel like opposing forces pulling the company in totally different directions. So this is what we call the conductor's challenge. The job of a senior leader, a CXO, isn't to tell every single musician how to play their instrument. No way. Their job is to be the conductor, the one person who can see the whole picture and bring all those different parts together into one incredible performance. And that's really the core job, isn't it? It's about a massive shift in focus. You've got to get every team to stop worrying about their own little solo and start playing for the good of the whole orchestra. The goal is to get all those different viewpoints to converge and focus on shared, company-wide success.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you get everybody on the same page? Well, the answer is to give everyone a new piece of sheet music to play from, and that music is called value streams. This is the real structural solution that can finally break down those walls between teams.
So what is a value stream? Well, it's a completely different way of thinking about how work flows through a company. Instead of grouping people by what they do, all the marketers over here, all the engineers over there, you organize teams around delivering something of value to the customer from start to finish. It cuts right through those old departmental lines. When you make this kind of structural change, it has a massive ripple effect on how people collaborate. You go from teams just coordinating with each other, tossing things over the wall, to actually co-creating together. Let me show you what I mean. So let's walk through the flow. It all kicks off with marketing, right? They've got the customer insights. Those insights then feed directly into what the product team decides to build. That product plan, in turn, drives exactly what the operations team needs to deliver. And holding this all together, you've got HR making sure the talent is there, and technology providing the backbone to make it all scale. See? It's one seamless, interconnected flow. And that quote you see, it really nails it. Coordination? That's just managing handoffs. It's, I did my part, now it's your turn. It's clunky. Co-creation? That's totally different. That's where you have all the experts in the room from day one building something together that none of them could have possibly done on their own. And here's the secret sauce, the thing that makes this whole system actually work. The teams don't just work side by side. They have shared ownership of the outcome. They win or lose together. You stop measuring success with separate little department goals and start using shared metrics that matter to the entire business. And suddenly, everybody's rowing in the exact same direction. And man, when you get this right, the results are just incredible. You go from that clunky, out-of-tune collection of soloists to a truly aligned enterprise. You finally hear that symphony you've been dreaming of. So what's the payoff? What kind of organization does this create? First, you get an organization that is deeply aligned. Everyone knows the mission. It's agile, which means it can pivot and adapt super quickly. It becomes way more innovative because great ideas can flow freely across those old boundaries. And you know what? It becomes resilient, ready to handle whatever comes next. Which brings us to the big question for you to think about. Take a hard look at your own organization. Is the music you're making coming from a bunch of talented but separate soloists? Or is it coming from a truly unified orchestra?
Are you stuck building on the silos of the past, or are you ready to start orchestrating with the value streams of the future?